Good morning, good morning, good morning, or good night for some of you. Come on in, come on in. I just did something impromptu live. Trump got what? I want to show y'all a video, man. This joint here is crazy. How about we all know about the crime in Chicago? How about they mock the crime in Chicago instead of taking the help from Trump? These people make a joke out of it. Like, I don't understand what's going on nowadays. I guess the hatred for Trump, TDS, is higher and stronger than the love for America. Because I swear, any and everything surrounding Trump. What's up, Pretty Brown Eye? Any and everything surrounding Trump. It's like it's a secret bell going off to say the stupidest thing ever. Even if it's right in your face what's going on. Even if you can show the numbers of him helping Memphis crime, still Trump derangement syndrome is at an all-time high. At the risk of losing people's life, it don't matter. Trump derangement syndrome is at an all-time high. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this. There was a heck of a video on OK Rick. I want y'all to check this video out. It's crazy. Forget what the citizens are saying. Forget what everybody is saying. It's just all about Trump.
For people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first and foremost before anything else happens here.
Yes. Why would any leader put our Black communities already riddled with crime at further risk by placing unvetted non-taxpayers steps away from our seniors, our children, and our homes we've worked so hard on our own to secure?
We are at war, people. Our communities are at war. They are violating our communities, and we asking that we across the country, we asking and we demanding for office of Black America, or whatever you want to call it, to deal with issues like this.
Why you voted Trump had in him?
I'm a diehard Trump supporter. In my household, you got Martin Luther King, you got Jesus, and you got Donald Trump.
Wait a minute.
Not in that particular order, but yeah, you got Martin Luther King, Jesus, and Donald Trump.
Why you got Donald Trump? You know, well, I'm straight Democrat, but I'm for the best person.
Yes,
but now why you got Donald Trump?
Because I paid attention in school when I was a kid, and so I Jesus and Donald Trump.
Why you got Donald Trump? You know, well, I'm straight Democrat, but I'm for the best person.
Do you hear how people say stupid stuff like that? I'm straight Democrat, but I'm for the best person. How can you be both? How can you be straight Republican, straight Democrat, but for the best person? If you for the best person, you're nothing. You're independent. You're a free agent. These people always say that they're, I'm for the best person. No, you're not. You just said it right the first time. You're a straight Democrat.
Yes, now why you got Donald Trump?
Because I paid attention in school when I was a kid, and so I know the true history of both the Republican and Democratic Party. I know that they really didn't switch during the Nixon Southern strategy. That one became more clever than the other in dealing with Black people. We the Democrats, we got away. We were the Republicans' friends. We were their friends, but we were the Democrats. When you look at the origins of the Ku Klux Klan, it originated out of the Democratic Party.
The Ku Klux Klan.
It did.
Okay.
Every civil rights legislation that ever has been passed in this country, it did.
Look at Biden holding hands with KK members. And that had been Trump, they'd have been crying in the street till now, still, if that was Trump. But then all you need is a good marketing plan when you on the other side. All you need is a good marketing plan, and you can get Black folks to forget about anything. Oh, he just with this racist Robert Byrd because they went to school together. That's all. You know, he's not racist no more. They'll get some bourgeoisie Negro that got a couple degrees to calm black folks down because Colin Flannery said, do not make the black kids angry. He wrote a book about it. So all you got to do is just give them some nice words, calm them down, feed them, give them some chocolate. And all is forgiven. You know, all is forgiven. He's out there holding hands, chilling. Everybody smiling. They all look like friends. Let that have been Trump.
Every civil rights legislation that ever has been passed in this country was authored, written, sponsored, and voted on 100% by Republicans and not Democrats. Every civil rights legislation.
Well, what you gonna do?
So let me finish about Trump. So as a kid, I remember being 6, 7 years old and seeing Donald Trump receiving an award with Muhammad Ali, Rosa Parks from the NAACP. Not only that, he engaged and interacted in our culture from the 80s throughout the 90s and even the 2000s, from rappers to Michael Jackson. So when we looked out into our culture, his face appeared many, many times. So for me to grow up now and then hear the media, because before the media started saying he was racist, I never heard a black leader say it. I never heard my grandmother say it. I never heard no one even mention anything bad about him other than rappers giving him praise in over 300 to 600 rap songs. So for the media to say, oh, he's racist, I knew they were playing con on us. And I can remember when America was great. I can remember when black children could play outside all day long and you didn't hear about kids being kidnapped. You didn't hear about drive-bys.
President Trump, I'm so humbled that you would be here. President Obama never came to the hood, so to speak, right? President Joe Biden, he went to the big NAACP dinner, but he never came to the hood. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor.
He went to the NAACP dinner because, you know, a lot of them probably help funding the racism and the racist Robert Byrd type of people that Joe Biden seemed to be cool with. So it's all a, you know, chain, you know, go to the NAACP, you know, get a check, you know, for KKK members. You know, it's all, you know, one and the same.
Thank you. My honor.
Want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
One man, I try to check this out of their house. Updates. Legacy Media. We are running laps around them, ladies and gentlemen. But and that's been a lot, honestly, out though.
All right, so all the cities that Trump went into, sent the National Guard and did different things in, the crime dropped. And that makes sense. If you're tougher on crime drops. It's very simple. DC's was the best example. And it was almost like a year ago that happened and everybody was online crying, talking about how it's racist and this and that. I don't see how it's racist to save black lives. Don't black lives matter?
So Memphis, Tennessee, everybody know how Memphis, Tennessee is. They call it Memphis, Africa, guys. And I didn't even know that they dropped to a 25-year low in crime. The mayor of Memphis, a black mayor, said, hey, please, Trump, come down here. Yeah. And look what happened. It's still going on. Can't stop them all, but it's happening. Okay, guys. So Chicago right now, everybody's trying to figure out, can we get the National Guard to Chicago?
Please.
Because they have had, in one weekend, I think over 45 shootings.
45 people got shot.
45 people shot, not shooting.
On Juneteenth weekend, 45 people got popped.
That's disgrace, man.
So Trump is saying we need to send the National Guard in there. And we have mothers now saying that, please, Trump, this stuff is getting bad. This is what Trump had to say.
Landry called me. Safest Mardi Gras they've had in, and by the way, Chicago, which is a shooting field right now. If the governor would call me, Governor Pritzker would call me, I would solve the Chicago problem. In 3-4 months, you'd have virtually a crime-free city. We'll remove all of the bad ones. You have criminals. You have career criminals that came in through the border because of Sleepy Joe Biden. You ever hear of Sleepy Joe Biden? Do you ever hear of him? He let people come into this country, and we can never forget that happened. Guys like you should never forget that happened. There were murderers, drug dealers, mental patients.
Someone said, I'm here in Chicago. No, we don't need the National Guard. Well, what do y'all need there? What do y'all need? Because you damn sure need something.
They took them out of prisons. They took them out of mental institutions. You should never forget that happened.
You know what's crazy about this? For some reason, J.B. Pritzker, he knows that the crime is absolutely insane. The fact that he got on Jimmy Kimmel and mocked the crime in Chicago, and you won't send in the National Guard, where you know the results of the National Guard. The crime's gonna go down. Everybody knows about Chirac, Chicago. Brother, you just mocked basically everybody. This is not okay.
JB Pritzker reporting from war-torn Chicago. As you can see, there's utter mayhem and chaos on the ground. So it's a challenge to survive here in the city of Chicago, but there's no hellscape that I'd rather be in.
How do the citizens of Chicago not get pissed off that their leadership will just make a...
They just had 49 shootings on what's supposed to be a black celebration for freeing the slaves that was already free. But anytime there's a party, I don't think most people realize what the party is supposed to be for. We're supposed to be celebrating freedom, but we are freeing people of their oxygen and their life on a day where you're supposed to celebrate the freeing of black slaves. I just don't understand how that makes any sense. Why in the hell would that weekend be the weekend that you shooting and you want people to take you serious as that you love your people? You can't stop shooting for a one day. Your ops can't even eat breakfast without you thinking about your op. I'm starting to think this is like this is all these boys must be I don't know. I don't get it. I don't wake up thinking about a man like in that way. I don't understand what the hell is going on. You cannot have a day where everybody just chill. Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, have you been under a rock? TDS has been all over the news. Everybody's been saying it, but now you don't know what it is. The fuck does having ops have to do with holidays? I don't know. Somebody got to tell me why every time we have a black holiday, have anything, people can't just stop shooting. I just don't understand. Trump doesn't even like Juneteenth. Well, it don't seem like black people like Juneteenth. Shit, every time it's a Juneteenth, Martin Luther King weekend, hell, Cinco de Mayo, hell, just turn some music on and have some drinks. Somebody is getting shot. It don't make no sense.
Mockery of what literally is going on.
So
People are
disgrace, man.
dying. It's not safe. People are getting shot. They're having team takeovers, and then this is what the response from leadership to mock it and deny it as if it's not happening.
You know why they don't care? Because it's black people. Democrats don't care about black people. They don't. If they did, they would want the killing to stop.
Peter Johnson, last week I sat in this very seat and I warned you that Juneteenth is historically one of the most violent days for whatever reason in the city of Chicago. You dismissed that. I asked you if Donald Trump, the president of the United States, if you would reach out to him for some kind of help or assistance. You dismissed that. You said you're the mayor, right?
And that's why. And that's why you have a single digit approval rating, sir. Incompetent. Y'all care so much for illegals. Your Trump derangement syndrome, and and I could just go down the list. But you, Mr. Frohawk Mohawk, whatever they call that thing on his head, time for you to resign, buddy. And many residents down there agree. And they're waiting for you to resign, buddy. It's an absolute disgrace, man. 40 plus shootings, over 8 individuals died. And then what's crazy is he's gotten warned before it took place. A disgrace, man. But that's the leadership down there in Chicago.
You said that Donald Trump was a massive failure or something to that effect. And now we have seen the results. 40 plus people shot, a dozen plus people murdered. Perhaps you're the massive failure in this equation and not the president, who, by the way, has...
Boy, his sensitive ass with the talking then, boy. Dude told him to his face, perhaps you're the massive failure. The only thing they got is to fake like they pro-black. The only thing they got, this is what people hang on to. It's a large portion of people that don't like Donald Trump. So you can hide the ball by just keep saying Trump name. It don't matter what happened. 49 people get shot, over 8 people unalive. You know what? Trump was a loser. Trump is a goddamn failure. You could say that and people will be like, yeah, of course. He's a failure. They'll forget totally about, hey, 8 people lost their life. Over 49 shooting incidents in a weekend. That's a lot. And anytime somebody questions him, oh, yeah, Trump hadn't done anything to help secure the state. Motherfucker, you live in the state. You got the power over your state. Like, this shit is crazy.
Thank you for your question. The President of the United States has reached out again. Well,
thank you for your question.
Donald Trump has said he's willing to help. Will you and Ron accept his support?
I appreciate you taking some time.
Let me ask the question.
You said that real quick.
Will you accept his help now?
Well, you asked 2 questions.
No.
It's a very lousy attempt of what you're trying to conflate. But your first question was essentially around who takes responsibility. The President of the United States of America has done nothing to help secure safe communities across this country. In fact, if you look specifically at his so-called black agenda.
How can that come out of his mouth? How can that come out of his mouth?
I'm starting to believe that. Some of these politicians is, God dang, boy, they must be planted in position and they ain't going nowhere, because I just don't understand how can you say this. The man done cleaned up DC, the man done cleaned up Memphis. Like, we can see this shit now. Like, we can see you. And you are in your city allowing teenagers to take over your whole town, stand on top of police cars, meet up, kick each other ass, break up property, and you saying that Trump is a loser? God, to be more careful. But this is the rhetoric. This is all you got to do to have a base over on that side. Say something stupid. Say something about Trump or people that they don't like. Keep that narrative going. And nobody cares what's really happening.
I mean, I just don't get it, man.
He has not delivered on one promise. It's not just he's just a failure. He is he's a doty individual, right? Here's a responsibility that I continue to take. Driving a community safety plan that removes guns from the streets of Chicago. Driving a community safety plan that actually invests in the communities that this president refuses to invest in. He is more interested in tweeting or posting evil and inhumane projections of people in our humanity than he is actually willing to put money into the very communities that he ostensibly.
This mother trucker worried about inhumane tweets while people are being hunted in the streets like dogs. Being shot down, treated inhumane like dogs. The caliber of weapons these guys are using, they're shooting mothers in broad daylight in cars. They're shooting people, fathers coming out of tire shops, leaving them leaking in the middle of the street and in parking lots, dropping them like worse than cattle. You don't even treat animals like this. But this guy is saying this. This is crazy.
He offers some degree of care for. This is an individual that is more interested in removing voting rights protections. It's about his overwhelming interest in coordinating the upward transfer of wealth into the hands of the ultra rich at the expense of everyday people.
My second question is simply this.
You've already
you
asked
campaigned on defunding. My second question is,
nope.
You campaigned on defunding the police. You've called the police a sickness. You say that incarcerating violent repeat offenders is some kind of racism.
You can talk as long as you want. You've asked your 2 questions
no,
already.
I asked one question that you interrupted.
No, you've asked 2 questions.
I also have civil rights. I have freedom of speech. I have freedom of
Well, you can just free yourself on out of here because I'm not answering anything else.
Well, the second question is simply this.
2 questions.
You have a
and your time
security
is done.
detail of
So go ahead.
150.
Finish.
The United States, the city of Chicago is down 2,000 police officers under your administration, and yet you have 150 some police officers on your security detail. If Chicago is so safe, why not release some of those police officers back onto the streets where they can help real Chicagoans?
Great question.
You're done. This mother trucker sitting up there acting like he's so offended. Like, they always do that. Like you doing something wrong. when anybody else, if it was Trump not answering people questions, it'll be, oh, Trump is messing with the First Amendment. Trump don't love the press. He told him that he can get up out of here. What happened to freedom of the press? That would be headline news if that was Trump. Here it is. This guy acting like Chicago is so safe, and he damn near got 200 police officers on his personal detail. You know why he probably got that many police officers on his detail? Because he know he's full of shite. What do you need with 150 cops? He might got two cops for each person in his family. Like, what? 150 cops on your detail? And when you get asked a great question like that, you're done. You're done. Come on, Brandon Johnson. If Chicago is so safe, and I don't understand why people can't see this, it's different rules for them than they want for you. They live like gods. I'm telling y'all, the real superheroes that's walking around here like gods on earth are the politicians. You can go from making $30,000 a year, $100,000 a year, to somehow your account, how Stephen A. say, bloviate. Sometimes your account fluctuate to maybe 30 million. And then you can say, oh, no, that was an accident. I only make 300,000. There was a zero error in that. Wait till the 4th. Chicago is going to be crazy. Oh, I ain't gonna be nowhere near. I don't go outside on these holidays no more. Y'all gonna learn to stop celebrating these holidays. People are playing Hunger Games in the streets. It ain't safe to go have fun nowhere no more, especially not in large crowds. Juneteenth, July the 4th. If your ass ain't out showing off a nice car on the beach, just rolling through and then getting your ass in before it get too late, then something ain't right. Because you won't catch me. I ain't going outside today. I'll be like NBA Youngboy. Trying to hide from the camera. I'm not going outside. For what? For some person to play like they mentally ill and then start shooting up a store for no reason, or shooting up a party for no reason because it's because he feel like it, because he had a bad day. The fuck out of here.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Jake.
This
I
dude is a
don't
clown.
like Brandon Johnson whatsoever. There's nothing about this dude that I support. There's nothing about this dude that I relate to. There's nothing about him that I like. He is a failure from every level. All he does is pivot, blame shit, point fingers, and fixes nothing. He said he wasn't going to raise taxes. He's constantly raised taxes. He refuses to address the violent youth offenders in the country and keeps saying it's wrong to penalize them and punish them when they have the highest youth crime rates and violence and murder rates in the nation. He does not care about the citizens of Chicago, the people of Chicago. He cares more about optics and giving the party what they want to hear rather than actual solutions. And I dislike him. I wish I could tell him this to his face and tell him that he's pathetic, but he'd probably find a way to pivot and say, young man, you've been brainwashed. And
Whoa, y'all remember how I said people's information can be found on?
I know, I'm just saying I would cancel the holiday. It is no longer a holiday because y'all don't. Why we have a holiday and y'all killing each other?
It's poetic.
There gotta be some type of repercussion for this, brother. Because y'all out here protesting and crying and y'all care about Juneteenth and this our day. Brother, people are dying on this day.
People are pro-black about everything that actually matters. Besides everything that actually matters to black people, which is.
Boy, you can say that again, but you could just break it down to people only pro-black online. In real life, they don't give a Jiminy Crick that it's 2 or 3 black boys or black young men being unalived in every city, especially Democrat-ran cities. I mean, they getting dropped. 2, 3 of them, 4 of them at a time. They getting dropped depending on the major city, and they don't care. We got a culture that's talking about it. We had guys asking, talking about, hey, man, who you think more violent, L.A. cats or Chicago cats? They having this conversation on live. You don't think white people can hear you? Hey, bro, which one do you think us the realest killers? Is it L.A. cats or Chicago cats? Y'all ain't got no real trenches for real. It's like, what the? You think this is a good conversation to be having? We get a holiday that celebrates something. We unalive people. Do we actually know how to celebrate, or is the celebration to unalive somebody? Is that the celebration? Because it don't seem like we know how to go outside, have a good cocktail libation, and then go home and kick your feet up. I don't get it.
Murdering people. Let's kill the babies in the womb. If we can't kill them in the womb, let's just kill them on the street.
How y'all so
And that's not a problem at all. Y'all vote for both of those things every single election, and y'all always will. And everybody who doesn't is not black.
How
Do you see
y'all
the delusion?
so pro-black, and we got black people killing black people, and we not talking about it.
That's what I'm saying.
We wrong for saying it though.
That's what I'm saying. They
I
don't
cancel that shit.
They want this to happen. It seems like
Juneteenth would be canceled. I'm gonna be real. If it's over 20 people shot, this shit done. I'm gonna say, look, y'all don't even deserve this shit. They released this man 72 times. How do you get released? That's why I highlighted this. Y'all ain't been seeing this. I've been highlighting this.
They release these type of people because they don't even want to deal with them in the jails. See, they really need to bring back mental institutions so that they can put these people in. But you put these people in a jail, and people don't even want to deal with these people in jail. They disrupt the jail. A crazy looking son of a gun like this can get the jail shut down. His actions can help lock down a whole jail. And so people don't want to be around it. They just let them out. Let them back out on the street over and over again. This is our criminal justice system because they don't want to deal with mentally ill people. They don't want to deal with people that take so many drugs that they are now not mentally there in the way that they once were. These drugs, this Molly, all this shit, this fentanyl, this stuff that these people are taking, it's giving them severe mental issues. It ain't just they just walking around with mental issues. It's these damn drugs that they taking. But they haven't really done anything about that yet. Just release them to the streets, and as long as they don't unalive nobody, they can go out there and steal and break up stores. The only time they want to deal with them is if they unalive somebody.
Whole time, 72 times he was released.
He set a woman on fire.
The black man shouldn't be in jail. He needs to just be.
I'm not gonna lie.
The justice system is corrupt.
People like this may need to be put down for the betterment of
72
society.
times.
That's the death penalty.
Like this is Canada got euthanization.
I'm with the death penalty.
8 felonies. What happened to the 3-strike rule?
See, this is the
That was
type of guy.
racist.
This is the type of guy that Jordan Neely was, and Daniel Penny had to save people from him on the train.
He did.
That was
But
racist.
rather than focus on the fact that they have a rap sheet, they want to say, "Oh, he's mentally ill." Okay, so he's safer in jail than amongst us, where we have to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
Where regular people who are minding their business have to deal with this shit. It's just logical. If someone is crazy and can't stay out of trouble, well, just let the state deal with it. Leave him in jail.
And only if y'all knew these niggas like how I knew them. This shit not gonna stop y'all. It's not going to. It's no saving them. That's why Brandon Johnson, I don't think he knows. He needs to hang out with him for a day. Then he'll really see.
I think he knows.
Yeah, well, obviously, JB.
The man got 150 police on his detail. We think we know who Brandon Johnson hanging out with. His best friend, the police, his best confidants and advisors is the police. This motherfucker be with the police more than he be with his wife. 150. He talk all strong and confident. No wonder, because he got 150 police.
No.
He thinks they need help.
We need more funding.
What?
We need more of your tax dollars.
We need more funding for a bigger jail.
This was supposed to be a joyous time. Neighbors say many people had gathered to celebrate Juneteenth when things took a violent turn. Shortly after, you see people running for cover. Chicago police were called to 95th and Princeton after a mass shooting around 11 Friday night in the city's Princeton Park neighborhood. At least 13 people were injured.
244 West 95th Street. I need crowd control.
Chicago police say a red SUV pulled up to a large crowd. Investigators say 2 suspects began shooting from inside the car before taking off.
There's approximately 25 shell casings, both rifle and...
You know, I got a worse story for y'all. I wish they start putting stuff like this on Pilot Market, though. Ooh, boy, if I was a police officer, I'd be rich. I say, boy, we on the way. Let's guess. I guess that it's black. I'm putting all my whole life savings that it's black on the way to that. Yep, we knew it. Every single time, brother. I bet they know every single time.
Well, there's Mexican gangs in Chicago as well.
And that's what Trump mentioned. You know what? He can't even mention the black people. Trump actually did smart right there. He didn't even say, hey, I'm going to go in and help this type of people. He said, yeah, we got these, illegal immigrants. And they are over there too, though. That's the problem. They got illegal immigrants and the black community out there tripping.
They also have legal Mexican gangs. You ever watch the YouTube?
Why
I want y'all to go on YouTube and type in Chicago Gang blog. It's thousands of videos.
It's not okay.
It's not only them, but it's always them.
Now, I got a worse story for y'all guys. This is crazy.
All right, President Trump calling attention to the crime epidemic in Chicago, promising he could fix it, quote, fast and permanently. As America celebrated Father's Day weekend, dozens were shot in the city and 41 shootings have been reported in the past week alone.
Wow.
So far in Chicago this year, there have been 198 murders. That is up 9% from a year ago, and 647 shootings, which is up 5%. Yet Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson continue to push back against the president's offer to help.
This is the same president that did not know that the Strait of Hormuz could be closed, shuttered essentially by Iran if he went to war with Iran. I don't think that we should be listening to this president about promises that he makes or that he has any idea how to protect us in the state of Illinois.
The president of the United States of America has done nothing to help secure safe communities across this country.
I'm sorry. I was just starting to think they're getting paid from the prison system.
Bro, I told y'all, bro. They're Democrats. They're Democrats. They're going to push the message their party wants to hear. We should know by now. For the 3 years we've been covering politics, all Democrats do is anti-Trump, anti-Republican. They refuse to work together. There's no bipartisanship. Nothing they say should surprise you.
These people are evil, and the
Nothing
people that
they say
support
should
them,
surprise you.
especially the people that's being harmed by it, y'all are dumb. Because, man, if y'all don't want the people to come in and help and save these kids, these young kids from dying, then I don't know what y'all want.
I don't know what they
But
want.
watch this, though.
Any idea how to protect us in the state of Illinois.
The president of the United States of America has done nothing to help secure safe communities across this country. He's done nothing to do that.
That is like wild.
Our next guest has been pleading for help to tackle gun violence since her 18-year-old daughter, Jaya Beeman, was murdered when she stopped at the store for snacks after a day at the aquarium. Jaya's mother, Naisha Beeman, founded the Jaya Beeman Foundation in her honor and joins me now. Naisha, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we want to start off by saying we are.
And I have to give this mother her props. I'm sorry for her loss, but this mother did it the right way. She went and started a foundation. She went and she gonna make you remember her name and things of that nature in a positive way, and not just go out and yell and shout and go crazy. No, she did it the right way. But it was unfortunate. Her child was unalive for the stupidest reason ever. And you guys are sitting up there talking about, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. We got to worry about this. We got to worry about that. Imagine your daughter just going to a store. Ain't a part of no gang. Ain't had nothing to do with nothing. And the guys who unalived her didn't have no beef with her, didn't even check to see if they had beef with anybody around. They just opened up a door and start shooting indiscriminately into a store. No money behind it. No, nothing. Just start shooting in a store. Some of these guys are so bloodthirsty for, reputation or a thrill. I don't know what it is. That this is the type of stuff that they're doing in their free time.
So sorry for the loss of your beautiful daughter. And when it comes to crime in Chicago, you just saw the president offer to help make Chicago safer through federal intervention. And that did not go over well with the governor of Illinois, the mayor of Chicago. What is your reaction to President Trump's offer to help and their rejection of it?
I think help is needed. You can use multiple agencies, FBI, ATF, DEA, U.S. Attorney to help with the gun violence in Chicago, because there is not a sense of urgency. They're not afraid. They're not afraid of going to jail because crimes are not getting solved. People are getting off. They're letting, so I think the help is needed.
Yeah. And, it was August of 2025 till August of last year when Governor Pritzker said, we've been fighting crime. We've been trying to prevent crime and it's been working. But if you look at the numbers, it's just not true because the murder rate is up by 9% this year. Naisha, can you describe what it's like in Chicago right now when it comes to violence, gun violence, and also teen takeovers?
So, when you can't sit in your car, I want to sit in my car to, decompress before I go in after my day of work with my kids, but I'm scared. It's always shootings.
Boy, got to be more careful. Boy, look at all them markers. Look at all them little tags on the ground. Them is like shell casings. Shucks. Boy, Chicago is a killing field. Goodness gracious. All them shell casings on the ground. This woman said she's afraid to sit in her car. I'm sorry. If I have a job that allows me to transfer, excuse me, I'm telling my job, listen here, if you got anything in the South, let me know. I'm on the first thing smoking up out of there. There's no way I'm raising my family crime 9% up with leadership pretending like it ain't happened. I got a leadership that's pretending like everything is, oh, what do you see? What's going on? While people are getting, she can't sit in her car. I ain't know where the hell I'm living in the city where I'm scared to sit in my car outside my home.
To, decompress before I go in after my day at work with my kids, but I'm scared. It's always shootings, people getting shot while they're in their cars, is people getting robbed, and then you just can't sit in your car anymore. So you just have to go straight in the house. He can say that the violence is down because the way they measure it, by Chicago being a large city, they measure it, per 100,000 residents, but it still does not stop the fact that this is a serious gun violence issue here in Chicago.
Yeah, and when we talked a little bit about what happened to your daughter,
Does that say 647 shootings? The year ain't even over with. 198 M's murders. 647 shootings. God dang. Boy, they ain't messing around up there in Chicago, boy. Lord help me. You got to just walk around ducking with your head down.
It's gun violence issue here in Chicago.
Yeah, and when we talked a little bit about what happened to your daughter, she spent the day at the aquarium. She was at a store.
See, this was a young college student literally going to the aquarium on the way home, murdered. And she didn't have nothing to do with no gang, none of that.
600.
Even go look at the fishes on the way home without getting shot. Jesus.
Imagine 600 people. Oh, that's a police
shooting incident.
People always scream
That's a lot.
Black Lives Matter. Who do they matter to? Black people kill each other every day. A young black woman who had a beautiful life ahead of her has had her life taken from her by senseless violence that seems to go unaddressed. Like her mother said, there's no sense.
And where is Black Lives Matter? Where is BLM?
Oh, they were white people. Oh, that's what they had. What you mean, where Black Lives Matter at? Patrice McCullough went and bought a bunch of nice properties in some of the whitest neighborhoods you can find. So, shit, Black Lives Matter is with the white people. If you want to know, they're with the white people.
BLM scam. I told you, when it only fits their narrative, And the hell with BLM, Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. And it's one love to the human race. All lives matter on this show.
Urgency, the crimes aren't being solved. These people are not afraid to go to jail because they got pussies like Brendan Johnson who's soft on crime.
On top of that, the liberal media, nobody said a word about this case at all. But then all these people are talking about Carmelo as if he was legally lynched. But then this woman was murdered in cold blood in the street and there's not a peep at all. But a kid who stabs another kid, that is where your outrage
You want to know why
lies.
they don't talk about it? Because the person who probably shot her was probably black.
They were. The person was black.
99% chance.
600.
Not all black people, but it's always a black.
Of those 650,
600
of them.
for sure.
600 of them shooters probably was black. Black on black.
And the other 47 probably Hispanic.
And then we get on here and talk about it and we wrong.
We're the problem.
We're the problem.
We the one getting death threats.
when we talked a little bit about what happened to your daughter, she spent the day at the aquarium. She was at a store and then she was killed. Can you give us any more details on what happened to your beautiful daughter there? We're looking at her picture right now.
Up, man.
Yeah, she just left the aquarium and walked in the store. 3 gunmen just opened up the door. Didn't even look in the store. They didn't even look at who was in there. They just shot blindly in the store.
And that's the shame about it. These guys don't even really have smoke with nobody. Just done took too many damn bars, just on too much drugs or fentanyl, and that's what they go off of. How in the world can you act like this? Why? Who does it? Who does this? Why would anybody act like this? You just open up a store and just start shooting blindly. Oh, like, Jesus Christ. I wish they could sit these kids down and say, hey, listen, why did you do that? Just interview these little psychopaths. Why did you clean them up, get them off the drugs? Don't let them take no drugs in there, no K2. Clean them up and make them talk. Make them have to address this shit in front of the world. Why did you do what you did, boy? Like, this shit is crazy. It don't make sense at all. This beautiful young girl taken out because somebody opened up a door and shot blindly in a store.
And she was one of 5 others was shot, 5 were shot, and she was one that was murdered.
Oh my goodness. And it does beg the question, Aisha, you know, as a politician
sad,
elected to
man.
keep people safe, why would you reject an offer for help when a city so clearly needs it?
I don't know if it's like they try not, piss and match for the lack of better words. But I think help is needed. So many parents hearing, this, their cases in discovery because everything has to go to the FBI lab and it's so overwhelmed. I think more resources need to be put into advanced forensic science so we can solve more crimes so they can be more afraid of going to jail, or they know nothing is happening. They know they can send a 15-year-old to do a crime and everything is going to be okay. They're going to get away with it.
Well, we thank you so much for joining us this morning and for speaking out as a mother.
Man, I send my love.
Damn, that kind of don't make sense. How is a 15-year-old more better at getting away with unaliving people than a professional? You would think you would need professional hitmen. No, just send a 15-year-old and it'll somehow, science don't work, the cameras don't work. Nothing that catch grown men from unaliving people, and why you should never do that, because more often than not, you're going to get caught. But for some reason, these little young 15-year-olds can get away with it. Make it make sense.
Prayers and condolences to that mom, man. Wow. Daughter was just, that's sick, man. And they just let loose blindly. Told you, people are sick of the foolishness, man. It's an absolute disgrace. And then Trump reaches out to help, and it's a problem. It's Trump derangement syndrome. We can't work with the big bad orange man. A disgrace, man. The times that we are living in, boy.
Myself, I can't imagine what you're going through, and we appreciate you joining us to highlight this issue, and we're so grateful to see your daughter's beautiful face, and she will certainly be remembered by many. Naisha Beeman, founder of the JF Beeman.
Black Lives Matter, nowhere to be found. That still blows me away. Nowhere to be found, as you see. I don't know how many times we have to point this out. The mother we covered, on the way home, murdered by criminal illegal aliens. What was it, a mother of 5? Kids have to grow up without their mother, She was black. Black Lives Matter is nowhere to be found. But only when it fits their narrative. So we can really raise the money, get the race hustlers added and fist pumping. A complete fraud, a complete scam.
Foundation, we think.
They say in songs they're demons, and they are. That is what it really is. If you just go and open fire on random, you're a demon. You are a demon going to hell. That is the ones who say they are demons. Believe them, y'all. They are demons.
No, yeah, it's the only explanation for it, because when you make a rap song about it and it get millions of views and people are supporting it, and them could have been
people say that. People say I'm a demon.
Them could have been the people that shot the girl. Go out there and make a song about it. It's just, and people support it.
People support it.
I don't understand it, guys.
I don't either.
And we the wrong. They
We
can't
wrong.
support us.
We wrong.
They can't support
y'all
us.
are giving us death threats for calling this shit out, but not the ones who are pulling the trigger.
We want taps on the head from white people.
I don't know.
It's evil, it's sick. There's nothing you do.
How we gonna survive in this society, brother?
The only way to survive is to move away. There's not a great dude to always quote, but Nick Fuentes said, it would be irresponsible for me to raise my family around a lot of black people.
Damn.
And
you wrong for saying that, man.
Is that
I don't think that's crazy.
Does that sound crazy? But if you think about it, if you move to the hood by choice to be around black people, you are irresponsible.
Imagine I move my daughter.
Now, when you start hearing black people repeat Nick Fuentes and the things that a known racist is saying, then you know it's getting bad, because they're starting to quote the numbers. People are not going to let these numbers go. The numbers that they're going off of say a ugly, ugly truth. There's nobody going to want to be around you. The numbers as a whole are saying something scary, and people are starting to just move with numbers-based mindset, and that's it. They're not going to give a damn about your feelings about racism. They're not going to give a hill of beans. They're looking at you based on your skin color as a threat because of the numbers. And there's a certain age range that they really are going to start looking at as a threat. And how can you blame them? Because they're a threat to everybody. This is not a color thing no more. These little motherfuckers are a threat to everybody. Did you see the little 15, 16-year-olds start shooting down there in Florida at the beach? Chasing people up the street? Families and children at the beach. No impulse control. Just pull out a gun, running up the street. I think it was in Clearwater, Florida. Just running up the street, just busting. Like, no. If you kept that in the hood, that's one thing. They'll let you do that. But now you're starting to do this type of shooting everywhere you go. There's no thought about taking somebody's life. There's no second thought about taking somebody's life or pulling out a gun and shooting in broad daylight. I don't know what this dude talking about.
To the hood.
That's
a chance.
irresponsible.
What just happened to that lady's daughter? It's a chance.
Then have 1-year-olds get hit by stray bullets.
Yeah,
but then we are the problem for saying that? Everyone else is the problem for saying they're doing that because they're starving? No, they're doing that because they are demons.
Actually, they want opportunity and slavery. Because they call us a bunch of self.
Yeah, man. Slavery did it. Slavery did it. That's why. Y'all ain't letting them get their excuse off. Slavery did it. It's the white man. The white man did this too. I showed this video where they were jumping this dude and the 12-year-old ended up getting shot. And nobody said nothing. So Brandon Tatum is going over it now. But no one says nothing when black people do what we do to each other. And it'd be worse shit. But nobody don't say nothing. They all focus on one thing that fit a narrative. Nobody said nothing. All you had to do, this Carmelo Anthony thing, if it was two black people, they wouldn't have gave a damn.
Tonight, a family mourns the loss of a 12-year-old little boy shot and killed.
He was not a bad child. He was not a bad child. He just made bad decisions.
Are they crying at this 12-year-old? You don't know his name. You ain't never gonna know his name. He ain't never gonna get a T-shirt. He ain't never gonna get Benjamin Crump reputation. They're not gonna do a press conference. They're not gonna want justice. Before we get back to the show, I want to tell you guys about Synergy. If your time gives you cleanness, well, synthetic. Before I get out of here, Brandon, because people are not gonna ever keep it real. Now we've seen all this controversy that's going out in the media when Carmelo Anthony came out, and all these black folks are crying about Carmelo Anthony, even though he killed somebody, even though he was wrong. They crying about him, getting 35 years in prison. But let me find Benjamin Crump or anybody crying about this situation. Pull it up. Let me see. Do your research and tell me, are they crying about this 12-year-old that got killed by another black man? Roll a clip. Let's see if they're crying about it. Hold on, time out. Before I see who crying about what. Are they crying at this 12-year-old? You don't know his name. You ain't never gonna know his name. He ain't never gonna get a T-shirt. He ain't never gonna get Benjamin Crump reputation. They're not gonna do a press conference. They're not gonna want justice. They're not gonna ask you justice. They're gonna talk about it. So you ain't gonna get that part. And then also, on the other side of this, the family does not feel like anybody should be held accountable. When I say anybody should be held accountable, wait till you see how this 12-year-old ended up getting shot. And to be honest, even though he was 12, he was still involved in violent behavior that ended up getting him shot. Roll the clip.
Get in there, Mari. Get in there, Mari. Yeah.
It's a sad day when this is how our young ladies are acting now. Get in there, Mari. Get in there, Mari. Fellas, you better get you a young lady that likes to de-escalate. You better get you a young lady that's into de-escalation, not one that appreciates this violent, stupid shit. Ain't even no honor in jumping somebody like this. It's honor in a one-on-one. The reason why this young man probably pulled out his firearm, not to justify it, but the reason why he probably pulled out his firearm, because he showed up for a fair fight, but he probably brought the firearm just in case it went left, and it went left. You got 4 or 5 people attacking one dude. This shit crazy. Black Lives Matter, though.
Tonight, a family mourns the loss of a 12-year-old little boy shot and killed in downtown Nashville.
After a fight turned deadly, now police say they have arrested the man accused of pulling the trigger. News 2's Lexi Wilson has that story.
He took my baby from me.
This family.
Before I get to grandma saying this stuff, I want to articulate what I believe we just saw and why it's not self-defense. Now, it appears that the man with the dreads that got arrested, that I believe did the shooting. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's the one that did the shooting. He got jumped by like 6, 7 people. And somehow this 12-year-old was a part of that. He's jumping and kicking and doing all kind of stuff, which is absolutely insane. Now, I'm not saying he deserved anything by that, but him putting himself in a position because mom and them don't raise their kids right. Because if you look at this video, I don't even remember. I could be wrong. I don't think daddy on this video one time. These boys ain't got no daddies. Either their daddy is terrible or they grandma and them raising them. And what these women do, they make excuses for the 12-year-old boy. When he was 3 years old, 4, 5, 6, 7, they raise him to just do crazy stuff. And then he ends up jumping some nut job and getting in on it and think it's funny. And then this fool ends up firing blindly and killing this 12-year-old. Let me tell you why this is not self-defense. He may try to argue self-defense. Once the scenario or the engagement in violence has subsided and is no longer a threat, you cannot then turn around and shoot people in the back. Now, if he had pulled his gun and shot any one of them while he was getting jumped, 100% justified. He wouldn't spend a minute in jail. He would be justified because he is getting jumped by multiple people. So serious bodily injury or death could be a reality for him. Using deadly force in that situation would have been justified. I don't care how old these kids are or nothing. He's getting jumped. He could have been killed. To be honest, they could have stomped his head and it'd have been over. And he had a gun on this person. Now, if he's illegally carrying that gun, that's another question. But once they stop jumping him, they run away. They're no longer a threat. Now, his pride hurt, but there's no longer a threat to you. There's no serious threat of serious injury or bodily harm, right? Or death, what we call it. So then you pull out a gun and shoot people while they're running away. That is murder, my friend. Listen to grandma and them that never held this boy accountable and still don't think that nothing is wrong here. That your 12-year-old is out unsupervised, jumping a man and potentially could have killed him. Because to be honest, if he would have died in that scenario, all of those boys would have been charged with murder. If somebody would have kicked him in the head the right way and he'd have died, all them boys, including that 12-year-old, would have been charged with murder. Roll the clip.
Still in disbelief after 12-year-old Damarian Moorhead was shot and killed Sunday night.
Why did he bring a gun? Yes. That's what I want to know. Nobody can answer that for me.
Emotions still raw as they remember Moorhead.
Grandma, Granny, Big Mama, let me answer for you. Why did he bring a gun? Because your grandson and these other kids jumped him. You got to be afraid of getting jumped and potentially killed. That's why he had a gun. To be quite honest, I don't know if he threatened him with the gun. That's why he stopped jumping him, because they were kicking him in the head and everything. That's why he got a gun. This room is full of women. Do you notice that? Full of women. Where are the men at in the community? There ain't.
Man, you know nobody don't need no man around. Come on now. Stop asking for worthless men. They don't need no man around. They just get a check and get the hell on. All this giving the check and getting the hell on, this is the result of it. Looking at men as nothing more than a paycheck, to me, this is what we get. You're getting one side of a coin. You're getting an emotional male that has genitalia of a man, but he has the mindset of a woman. Quick to extreme violence. And people don't understand how women act, especially when they're around boys. They're not little soft little things. Some women become harder. They become more aggressive. I'm telling you, my mother would grab anything next to her to get your ass to calm down. When she was pissed off, she'd throw anything at your ass. Shoe, comb, goddamn brush, anything. You know, we talk about these type of stories and we laugh about it like it's cute. But see, then we don't talk about the flip side of the coin when it's learned behavior. When a little boy sees that and now he becomes like that to where he's reactionary. Anything that pisses him off, he throws things, he goes crazy. He got to go to the highest level of the extreme to get you to stop, because that's what women do. And I'm not doing that to blame women, but you know, it's called learned behavior for a reason. You're gonna learn from who you are around. And for the last however many years, most boys have only been around women. Nothing but women in this room. You got a lot of different emotions, older to younger women. And these little boys are responding and acting just like what they're around.
There. That's why these kids are out of control. The one shooting and the one getting shot, and all the other kids jumping him. All of them kids could have lost their entire life if that young man would have died. And to be honest, they actually should charge the other kids with murder from the 12-year-old getting killed, because their actions, which was criminal, caused the death of another kid. Now, let me backtrack that. If he had acted in self-defense legitimately, I think they would have all been charged with murder. But because the scenario dispersed and he shot somebody in the back, therefore the threat was not imminent, and then he shot somebody in the back that was wrong. But if they were jumping him and he shot and killed a 12-year-old while they were jumping him, all the kids there would have been charged with felony murder, because in the commission of a felony crime, somebody died because of their violent behavior. They would have been charged. Anyway, let's get to grandma now, and then we go get up out of here, y'all. I promise. Roll it.
As a kid who loved to rap and play football, his brothers and cousins admired him.
He was not a bad child. He was not a bad child. He just made bad decisions. We all done made bad decisions.
Metro Police say the fight broke out here in a courtyard near Representative John Lewis Way in Dedrick Street. During the fight, police say 24-year-old Devin Orr pulled out a gun. As people started to run, police say shots were fired. The 12-year-old was hit in the head. He later died at the hospital.
He didn't care how old he was or who he was. He just...
Monday morning, police arrested Orr at a home on Fisk.
Ma'am, usually when nobody's going, unfortunately, he lost his life, but your son or your grandson was participating in something that most people are not going to ask your age when he's participating. Most 12-year-olds don't participate in jumping a 24-year-old man. What is a 12-year-old doing around a grown adult? Why wasn't he out with other young 12-year-olds, riding skateboards and shit like that, doing what 12-year-olds do? Why wasn't he playing basketball, football, or reading? Why was he out in the street fighting? Why did he have free time to waste in that manner? Just saying.
Street. Investigators say the fight was over a woman.
A woman.
A woman? What the hell a 12-year-old doing? You know what? Never mind. Golly. A 12-year-old out here fighting a 24-year-old over a woman? What the hell is going on? All right, this video is on a righteous perspective, and I want to play this because this is how they keep Negroes brainwashed, because there ain't nothing good you can say. They mad at this dude. They mad at this guy for inviting you to Oak Bluff. I never heard of Oak Bluff, but there's an Oak Bluff, I guess Massachusetts, and he was inviting black folks to Oak Bluff, Massachusetts. He said he wants you there, but he just asking for one thing, and I don't know who he think he is, asking for this outlandish ass request. Like, he know we black out here. Why would he even ask us to do this? Now, guess what he asked us, y'all? He asked black folks to just behave when you come. He said, yeah, man, we want you out here. Just don't come out here and act crazy, man. You know what I mean? Just come out here, have fun. We blacks, we don't have they don't got no fatigue. We affluent. We want y'all out here. But just behave a certain way when you get out here. Boy, what they going crazy on this dude.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So this is Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard. Now, there is no fatigue here. All right, there's no black fatigue here. There's only beauty. There's only families. There's only professionals. There are only doctors. There are only lawyers. There are only professors. There are only accountants. There are only finance people. That's what you find down here. Families enjoying themselves. Listen, Oak Bluffs has been a haven of black wealth in this country for 100 years, and I love it so very much. My wife is here. We love it. In fact, I'll be going back home today, but then we'll be back, God willing, in a week to actually enjoy ourselves, because we will be spending a week here through 4th of July. It's going to be beautiful. But you know what? If you know how to act, come on down to Oak Bluffs. We'd love to have, at least I would love to have people coming down seeing this. This is beautiful. You know what? A lot of times in the media, we get inundated with negativity regarding black people. Well, come on down to Oak Bluffs and see what's going on down here. But remember, you got to come down here. You got to know how to act. But I love it. Black wealth, elite black wealth. But you know what? What we don't do is look down on everybody else. What we do is help everybody else, because we want more to come down here.
I really like what this guy is saying, because his message is that black people can live in these really nice areas and not have any issues. There doesn't have to be the black fatigue. There doesn't have to be people acting crazy, causing commotions, getting in fights, doing takeovers. So the area that he lives in is on Martha's Vineyard, and it has a long-standing black population, about 1,000 full-time black residents total. Now that's a lot of people. So I just want to prove to you that what he's saying is true, that you can have this many black families living together and not have issues like we see all over the rest of the country. So here are the crime rates, and there are very low crime rates overall, including in the black community here. Extremely low violent crime, property crime, theft, burglaries, all that basically doesn't even exist in this area. So it's not a matter of all black people are an issue. It just means that you need to be respectful, be professionals, and just act right.
And if I gotta be a good little nigga to go there, I don't want to go. If you have to give me a disclaimer just because I'm black that I need to act a certain kind of way, you ain't gotta worry.
Do you see the ignorance of this woman? If I got to be a good little N-word to go there. Like, what, lady, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? If I got to be a good little N-word to go there. Jesus.
About it, I don't need to be there. And that man who made the post about coming to Oak Bluff, I'm sure he's a nice man. I'm sure he's a very nice man. However, I don't understand how y'all are not seeing. Well, I do understand. A lot of us still have this mentality, still have this perception that we can perform our way out.
Are you sure you are us? Because this shit you saying don't make no sense. I think you one of them confused light-skinned ones that just want to be so pro-black that till you halfway slow. Because if you can't read the room that we trigger Tai Chi in each other and people getting tired of that shit, so you just gotta, it ain't about an act. It's just stop being so goddamn violent and crazy. It ain't that big of a deal. Go out, eat dinner, go your ass home. What's so hard about that?
Nice man. However, I don't understand how y'all are not seeing. Well, I do understand. A lot of us still have this mentality, still have this perception that we can perform our way out of racism. And I fear that, like, y'all are not connecting the dots, like, throughout history. No matter what we did, no matter what we accomplished, no matter what we gave, it wasn't enough. So,
Ma'am, it wasn't a white man in that video that was asking you to cool out. It was a black man. So why don't you stop worrying about white people? I know maybe your white granddaddy don't like you, but all you got to do is get over it. The man is asking you to calm down for us. We used to be gentlemen. We used to be men and women. You used to goddamn have to, man, do all kind of stuff to see a leg of a woman. Now you get to see a woman's whole body through a dermis layer looking piece of clothing that she called yoga pants. You get to see every damn thing. Nothing is left to the imagination. So, of course, men walk up just with one thing on their mind, and that's to get behind. They'll say any damn thing to you. You're running around here looking like a piece of steak. So, ma'am, no. You over here making this conversation into something else that it's not even about. This conversation ain't about the white man. It's about behavior. It's about behavior, ma'am. And it don't seem like you want to behave in a manner or want people to behave in a manner that's conducive for everyone to get along. See, that ain't a white thing. Everybody tired of that shit. Black people tired of it. Why you think nobody don't want to live around us? It ain't just white flight. Anybody with a piece of money, they get their money and they gone. So I don't know what's wrong with you, lady.
So if you are a black person and you move to an area that I'm assuming is predominantly white, because those are usually the only areas where a black person like that feels like they need to tell other black people, oh, make sure you act right when you come. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go. I don't even understand why y'all still aspire to be in predominantly white areas, spaces. Like, but yeah, no matter what, it's not going to be about whether or not you.
Ma'am, you sound so ignorant in this situation because you can look up the numbers on why people go around predominant white spaces because of crime. You can look up the numbers, ma'am. There's a reason why Patrice McCullough and most of your celebrities, your rappers, your athletes, there's a reason why they don't live in the hood. Soon as they get some money, they're going to an affluent neighborhood that's mostly predominant white because of safety reasons. You don't see motherfuckers building mansions in the hood because they could easily do it. As a matter of fact, it'd be cheaper just to stay in your own neighborhood, build your goddamn mansion on your block that you say you love so much. Chief Keef don't live on O Block. He live in California. Most of all these rappers, when they get their money, they don't stay on O Block. Lil Boosie ain't in New Orleans repping his hood. He in Atlanta. They get the fuck on. And it's because of safety. But we can't tell the truth.
Know how to act. That's the bigger picture. And the message that was sent was, I need to tell y'all how to act before y'all come out here because y'all are black and y'all have no home training.
And let me just say this. So there's this video going around about this black gentleman who's talking about Oak Bluffs or whatever. And he's saying, you know, this is where this is where black wealth is. You'll find your doctors, your lawyers, your finance pros here. There's only black wealth. There's no black fatigue. And I have a problem with that. And it's not because I can't afford to be there. I mean, whatever. But as a black person, using the term black fatigue just only reinforces white rhetoric, okay? And I just felt like that was unnecessary in getting your point across using the word fatigue. Because as we see other people of other races using the word fatigue, you know what they're trying to say, you know what they mean by that, and it's nothing positive. It's very nasty. And again, I just don't think any black person should be using any term coined by white people.
You all big mad about the black man from Oak Bluff talking about black fatigue, and you could come, but they don't want the drama. And I agree. I think once you get to a certain age, you don't want any drama. And what I saw on that Carnival cruise, all those young black people that's fighting, yeah, I'm not going to be on Carnival cruise no time soon.
So y'all, my FYP never disappoints, okay? One of my mutuals posted this video about Oak Bluffs. He's a black man and he's describing the area as like the haven for black wealth, for black professionals, doctors and lawyers and finance guys, right? Oak Bluff sits on the eastern side of Martha's Vineyard. So anyway, he's telling people, hey, we want you here, come and visit if you can act right, because this is not an area for black fatigues. Anyway, he's getting all this hate, y'all. And most of the hate is from us, the black community, because he said black fatigue and you need to act right. And initially, I don't see his original video. I see somebody else's video talking about it, right? So I said, oh, let me go and find that video so I can assess what he said. While I'm scrolling, y'all, to find the video, I run across the Carnival Cruise brawl, okay? That is what he's talking about. That is what he's talking about. But case closed. If you didn't see the Carnival Cruise brawl that just happened, that is what he's talking about. If you don't know how to act, then don't go to places like that, okay? And I'm just saying, y'all, we got to be able to call each other out in the black community. Call a spade a spade. You do have to know how to act in these situations. I mean, come on, y'all.
It's not just these situations. You just need to know how to act in public. You just need proper home training. That's it.
Absolutely right. Well, first of all, thank you for the video because you gave both sides. You had both perspectives, which is very good to see how that there are some black people have common sense. They're decent. They understand rationality. And then you have black people who are stuck on stupid and they don't care. Not only are they stupid and don't care, but they want you to accept their stupidity and they will condemn you for acknowledging their stupidity. So this is the fight we're fighting. I think that all we have to do is keep on making it clear that color of your skin does not make you my people. And I think that we have to keep stressing this because that term black community is just like, to me, it irks me now because black community is just a community of black people. It says nothing. We are individuals, and these people need to understand that we're not going to tolerate their stupidity, and we're not going to identify with them in their stupidity. And I think that they need therapy, and we need.
Well, they're gonna call you a coon because we gotta all connect off stupid energy. If we don't connect off this stupid energy, then you're a coon.
To start trying to find ways to help them. They need help. They really need someone to sit them down and talk. Now, I know, let's face it. Some of these people will cuss you out if you try to talk to them about their condition. I get that. But we can't stop trying, though. And we can't stop trying. All I'm saying is that, yeah, having those two together like that is very important because it shows you the people who have had their head screwed on right and people that just don't have their head screwed on right and don't want to have their head screwed on right. We need to make people understand that they are not us. And they will never be us until they get themselves together. That's just bottom line.
My thoughts listening to that, I got 5 things that just kind of screamed out to me. I just want to respond to some statements I heard. For the gentleman in the front, I got to be objective. He had mentioned finance, accountants, doctors, lawyers. You don't need to have that kind of job to have a good community. You just have to behave yourself. That's it, right? One of the ladies said, the lady who kept talking like this.
Man, you keep hearing that word behavior. That word behavior is starting to catch on. I mean, I might have been 4 or 5 years too early when I first came out saying, hey, man, I watch behavior. Maybe I was a couple years too soon, but, you know, people are starting to catch on. They starting to say behavior is key. We have been moving with this, I'm black, throwing around our color before anybody. We throw around our color more than most people. I'm a black woman. I'm black. We black out here. We putting the color thing there. We making it about race. People have been trying to call out your behavior for the longest. But when black people do it, we a coon. When white people do it, they racist. So now people are like, fuck you. We're going to call out this behavior whether you like it or not. And it's getting backlash because they're calling it black fatigue and all these other things, but they tired of not being able to say something about your behavior specifically without you bringing up race, without you making an excuse, without you not backdating the behavior to slavery. We want you to be accountable for this behavior that you're doing right now. It ain't got nothing to do with those slaves getting hit about what you're doing right now. So they're going to drive that point home. Trust me, whether you like it or not. Salute to you, bald head Wayne. Salute to you, Miss Spitfire.
Right, the larger lady who didn't like the things that were going on. She said, I don't want to go because I have to act a certain way. And again, the Minister Danzel does this all the time. I wish I could talk to these individuals. What's a certain way? I just want to hear you say. You're going to say a white way, and I'm going to ask you, what's that way? You mean following the law, not being loud or disruptive, right? A dangerous environment. I just want her to define that. She also said, no matter what we did, no matter what we accomplished, it was never enough to find enough. Right? I want to hear you say it. What is enough to you? You can't say that's equal opportunity. That exists already. You can't say that it's equal access. That exists already. Matter of fact, you have better opportunities, just statistically, fight with me if you want to, than you do for your Caucasian counterparts. And so I just want to know what's enough for her. She said, she asked a question. Why do we inspire to be in predominantly white places? This one hits home for me because of the state that I.
What's enough for most people is that they just want to get away with the same stuff that they feel in their heart of hearts that white people got away with. They just want to even the score. They want their lick back. 2 Cents came on the panel and he was honest. He said, we want our lick back. And unfortunately, a lot of people feel that way. They don't give a damn what crime happened. They don't care what it is and what was said. If somebody white got away with it and somebody black did it, they're going to justify it. Oh man, we don't never get away with nothing. It's our turn and we got to get our get back. It shit really is sad. You said white people are pro-white. Why can't we be pro-black, KB? Who said you couldn't be pro-black? The thing about it is just don't be a flat-out liar. Being pro-black and wanting a kid to get out of prison because he's black and he underlives somebody white, that ain't being pro-black. There's laws in this land that's supposed to supersede color. And the people that's trying to make pro-blackness just justifying crimes and stupid shit, then that ain't pro-blackness because they're acting out these crimes more often than not on black people.
I live in? Well, it's an easy one. According to the FBI Uniform Crime Reports, the Bureau of Justice Statistics, and CVS and the CDC homicide rate, I have a sextuple chance of being unalived in a black neighborhood than I do a white neighborhood. You don't even know what that word means. That's how high the odds are of me losing my life around y'all than I am back there. It's 6 times as much, by the way. But the last one, this woman with her entire chest, as we were looking up and seeing every single booger this woman had in her nose with that bonnet on her head on the Lord's internet said, and I quote, "I don't think black people should use any term coined by white people." Are you serious right now? Do I have to say the word? We all know what word that comes to mind immediately whenever you say that. You don't think black people should use any term coined by white people? I don't want to hear the N-word come out of another one of your mouths again. Stop being a hypocrite.
There's a scripture in the Word of God that says in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 5, I'm not talking to these people. I am delivering them into the hands of Satan for the destruction of the flesh, so that their spirit may be saved on the day of the Lord. That is what I'm going to do with these people, because I'm not talking to these people. They have no kind of common sense. The fact that the man had to say that he to behave yourself, that should tell all of them the state of blackness. And that's why I call black culture a cult. It is not a culture. It is a cult, period, point blank. That is what it is. That is why this woman is going to say, I don't want to go anywhere where I have to behave. Excuse me? What do you mean you don't want to go anywhere where you have to behave?
She said that.
Ma'am, what is your problem? So you're saying in your everyday life, you have no, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to the Trinity people. Y'all know about what I'm about to say. You have no brought up seat. You have zero manners. Okay? What do you mean that you are not going anywhere where you have to behave yourself? So what do you normally act like? And for that matter, I want to be around you. The girl with the bonnet with
You know how she act, probably like a straight up, you know what? And she want to reserve her right to act like a straight up, you know what? She want to play scamming and jizz ass. I mean, I go y'all back. She want to act like that. She want to be loud when she want to be loud. She want to be ratchet. She one of those people that probably just want to be ratchet on demand. In front of whoever, wherever. Hey, don't say nothing to me, bitch. You know, that type. Ain't trying to hear nothing, but gonna be heard by everybody.
as AT said, with the boogers up her nose, again complaining. And y'all saying about this is white behavior. It's not white behavior, it's behavior. And the problem with black people, there's a dichotomy that they're dealing with. They're split between two things: pride and inferiority. That is that. Because they sit down there, they have that inferiority mindset, but at the same time, they're faking the funk with that pride, acting like they're better than. No, y'all listen, y'all need to go see Christ because y'all are struggling.
Hey, Celeste, isn't that an oxymoron?
Exactly. And that's how they live. They live like that. Officer Tatum yesterday, and he was talking about Dr. Umar, and Dr. Umar was saying so many black people, they immediately, as soon as they make any money and they have their lives together, they want to run out of the black community and they want to run into to be adjacent to whiteness. No, I want to be adjacent to safety. I want to be adjacent to people who know how to carry themselves. I want to be.
And I hate the fact that people can't keep it real and say that. They always want to act like, oh man, you leaving because you don't want to be down with us. No, they leaving because they ain't trying to get unalive. It's a very real thing. Black men get all the women, but we shall unite now. What the fuck?
Adjacent with people who understand who Christ is and not cutting up. I want to be adjacent in the neighborhood where we look out for each other, not you sitting here watching to see what I have and you figuring out how you could take it from me. That is.
Hello. Not you sitting here watching my cars, watching my house, trying to figure out how I make my money. Not you trying to watch my girl so you can sleep with her and wait on a chink in our armor or a bad day. Not you trying to watch me get beat the hell out of and won't call the cops, watch my stuff get stolen and turn your other cheek. No, that's why I say we don't have a community. Communities pull for one another. Communities take care of one another. They don't do that. They don't just argue. They don't just watch each other get hurt. That's not what a community does.
What I want to be adjacent to. So when you fix your mouth and make these statements, these people that get on the internet, this is why everybody's not supposed to be on the Lord's internet. Okay, everybody's not supposed to be on the Lord's internet because they still have not learned. Shut your mouth. There's some things you should never get online and say because you've just told us who you are. And please understand that is why when people are like, Krista, you don't go to like a black party, a black party. No, I will go to a party. I'm not going to a black party because the likelihood of something popping off and pew-pews going every which direction. I like to live. You know, I like my life. I like breathing. I like being on this side of the earth. So as I said, and the beautiful thing is that Paul says it in 1 Corinthians 5:5, and then it comes again in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verses 19 through 20, releasing them into the hands of Satan, so their flesh will be destroyed, but on the day of judgment, their soul will be saved. And that is what they need to do. And I think that is what's happening to these people in black culture. I don't associate with black culture. I am American. I am a Christian woman. I am American. So that way, what Minister Denzel says, this is how we'll be able to decipher everything. Instead of saying black, I'm just American, and those Americans over there don't act right. That's how we say it. Those Americans over there don't act right, not black people. Those Americans over there.
First of all, that what you talked about, the Marxist W.E.B. Du Bois wrote about it in The Soul of Black Folks, is a psychological concept called the double consciousness. And he described it wrongly, in my opinion. He described it as the conflict of the duality between being an American and a Negro. Crystal, I think you correctly described it is between pride and inferiority. And somebody needs to go back and go fix his work that has stood along, and they consider that almost the basis of all scholarship for Black people is this idea. And I think you absolutely just turned it on its head, and someone, like I said, needs to go back and fix that and tell the truth, which I think they knew then, but were hiding because the idea of this duality between the American and the Negro pushed the socialist Marxist agenda that they intended for Black people. But in the words of Maya Angelou, by the way, another Marxist, when you know better, you do better. Every community that from wherever they start can get the American dream, can make money, get education, build businesses, create wealth for themselves, and they move from where they began. Jewish people do it, Indian people, meaning East Indian people do it, Asians do it, Latinos do it, and no one else in their community is mad at them for it. It is the Black community, or at least if they're mad, they're quiet. And we thank you for that. It is the Black community that is outspokenly angry anytime somebody Black achieves something and wants to go where they can do better. The reason they're leaving is because there are places where they can maintain what they've already built, and that will help them do even better and do better for their children in the future. That's why they're leaving. It's not a hatred of you. It's not I think I'm better than you. I am doing better than you, but I don't think as a human being I'm better than you. It is none of these things. And that's why your inferiority takes over and you begin to castigate and become angry with people who say, look, I want to go where I have a better shot. And I have put myself in position to be able to go where I have a better shot. That is one thing. And that is segregation at its best. Racial segregation is morally wrong and it is illegal. But segregation by interest, by age, by behavior, all of those things are what free people do.
Man, there's that word again, behavior. Oh my goodness. There's that word again. People are starting to say it a lot. Behavior. Behavior. Well, what do you know?
In the Bible, we call it discernment. Free people are able to say, hey, let me look at the world and figure out how to maneuver it in a way that is best for me. There is nothing wrong with that. Nope. And Minister Denzel, I hope that God blesses your heart and your soul and gives you all that you need to complete your ministry. Because I am with Crystal. I am not in the miscreant ministry. I cannot help them. Okay, I already know.
Pray for me.
I'm ill-equipped. Don't send me. I can't go. Okay, I'm not the one. But I do think, and I've spent a lot of time there in my child. It wasn't all this been made out to be today. And I do think it is perfectly reasonable, normal, natural for people to want to associate with
people. The problem with these people, like the woman who AT described as the large woman, I want to know, what were all those pox on her? This was a lot happening there too. It overwhelmed me. A cream or something, I don't know. But I want to get rid of that. And I certainly wouldn't wear that shirt if I was all pocked up.
No,
That would not be, again, I'm here with the fashion choice. That's not the choice for you, dear. That was not it. But there is nothing wrong with people who want to be with like-minded individuals. All human beings will do that. What the problem is these people think that the only thing that can make you alike is being Black. And I will tell you why that is. That's because they've not developed any other quality in themselves. So they can't say, I'm like you because I'm Christian. I'm like you because I'm smart. I'm like you because I have an interest in backgammon. I'm like you because I love hiking. I'm like you because I'm really into fitness. They've developed nothing. This girl won't even get a cream. She don't even like you because she wants good health care. But they have developed nothing else in themselves. The only characteristic they have is being Black, which is why they think that's the only characteristic you have. And when they find out you have another characteristic that gives you some commonality with somebody other than them, they're mad. And they're mad.
She right about that. She's definitely right about that. They want to find common ground through the dumbest stuff ever. They want to find commonality through the dumbest stuff ever. You be like, what? We're not about to link through just being Black. What the hell? It's so many facets of life. But that's it.
Because they're jealous.
Sister Crystal, she brought up a very good point in 1 Corinthians 5:5, where Paul talks about, listen, just turn this Negro over to Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that his soul might be saved. And there are some people that fit that category, no question about that, and a whole lot of them, in fact. But also, you have to understand that Paul had to deal with a brother named Onesimus. In the book of Philemon, he talks about how this was a runaway slave, was probably no good, gave his master a lot of trouble, and Paul converted him. And by his, so there are people who can be reached, and if they can be reached, we need to reach them. Now, again, that's not for you, Celeste, but there are people that can. I have actually ministered to gangbangers and got them converted. And I've seen the transformation between a man who was selling drugs and shooting people up. And he came to my church. He was sitting in the back of the church while I was doing Bible class, teaching Bible class. And he started moving up as we had more services went by. And eventually he was sitting in the front seat. Ministered to his brother. Not only did he get saved, but he went back to his wife, and they both started a business and lived out in Savannah, Georgia for years. And we were always close. So I'm saying that there are people who are not beyond hope. We just got to know who they are.
Well, it also takes the right workers, right?
That's right.
It takes the right people with the right mindset that has a heart to help.
That's right. Everybody can't do this.
Everybody can't do it. Everybody can't do it. And it's not for everybody to do.
That's right.
But
I just want to touch that it's also your assignment, because you have to
right.
to everybody.
That's
So
right.
so you're sitting there talking to somebody, and Celeste comes and talks to them. I'm talking to somebody, and I'm exhausting myself, and Celeste comes in and says like 5 things, and they're like,
That's right.
oh, that makes sense.
That's right.
That's
Sounds
Celeste.
about right.
So that's why you have to choose your battles correctly.
Yes.
And again, if you reprobate, I'm not trying. If you reprobate,
And Denzel, if that woman comes into your church and starts moving into the front, you go ahead and get her a little tube of cortisol.
Well, how about we cover her up first? I mean, goodness.
Thank
gracious.
you.
I mean, how about we start there? Maybe we throw the shawl or something over her. I mean, come on. The brother that kicked this thing off, was talking about.
So the BET Awards show just what you're talking about. Member for 11 monks. Southern Child, goodness great. 11 monks. Appreciate it. I want to show y'all something. Let me show y'all something.
Yo, but right here, he's speaking all facts. And that's the shit. Like a lot of people don't like him either, because he's speaking all facts about Barack. This is not me being biased or nothing. If you read, if you know Barack real history, you will know he's not lying. He's not telling one lie.
No.
Listen.
By the way, Obama, Mama Stanley Ann, first she lied and said Barack Obama Sr. was the boy's father. Everybody knew that wasn't true. The man named Frank Marshall Davis knocked her up. He was having sex with her mama, Madeline Dunham. She tried to put it on that boy, that African student over there from Nigeria, from Kenya rather, named Barack Obama. After she figured out that didn't work, she married this Indonesian guy named Lolo Sotoro. That's Stanley Ann Dunham. First she said his name was Barack Obama, which was a lie.
That's kind of interesting. It just kicked me off Wi-Fi for no reason. That's crazy. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see if they'll let this thing play this time. Mm-mm-mm.
Tears, yo. But right here, he's speaking all facts. And that's the shit. Like, a lot of people don't like him either because he's speaking all facts about Barack. This is not me being biased or nothing. If you read, if you know Barack real history, you will know he's not lying. He's not telling one lie.
No.
Listen.
By the way, Obama, mama, Stanley Ann. First, she lied and said Barack Obama Sr. was the boy's father. Everybody knew that wasn't true. The man named Frank Marshall Davis knocked her up. He was having sex with her mama, Madeline Dunham. She tried to put it on that boy, that African student over there from Nigeria, from Kenya rather, named Barack Obama. After she figured out that didn't work, she married this Indonesian guy named Lolo Sotoro. That's Stanley Ann Dunham. First, she said his name was Barack Obama, which was a lie. But she named him that and told the hospital there in Honolulu or wherever the hell. She kicked Barack Obama to the curb because he wasn't rocking her boat. So, and then she married this guy named Lolo Sotoro, this Indonesian businessman, Lolo Sotoro. And you know what this woman did? Oh, you niggas listen to this. You know what this woman did? She changed Barack Obama, the so-called stomped down African black man. She changed his name from Barack Obama to Barry Sotoro. Maybe she's in love with Barry White. I don't know what the hell. But she changed her name to Barry. And for the next 17 years of his life, he was known as Barry Soetoro. He went to high school there in Punahou. High school is Barry Soetoro. He entered Occidental College as Barry Soetoro. She changed that boy's name to Barry Soetoro after that Indonesian man that she married, and she was living over there in Jakarta, Indonesia. And y'all talking about we got our first black president. Talking about niggas crazy. We got to wake up from this dream. We got to wake up from this nightmare. Well, we got to wake up.
Finish him. So we got to wake up from this dream. We got to wake up from this nightmare. Don't sound like we got our first black president yet. Don't sound like we got our first black president yet. Damn, man. I thought my money was going to get me far, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying? I tried, man. I thought giving my money to this man was going to get us far. It didn't. He just illuminated the White House. But listen, man, that's my time for my first live today. I'm finna go stretch and then lay my ass back down for about another hour or two. And then I'll be back up. But y'all have a blessed day. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.